Hey everybody, and welcome to my channel, Restaurant Recipe Recreations. This channel is dedicated in teaching you how to create your favorite signature dishes from the most popular restaurants. If this is your first time watching any of my episodes, then welcome. And if you've watched my episodes before, then welcome back. If you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the notification button, and that way you can see all of my upcoming episodes. And while we're at it, go ahead and hit the like button too, because you know what? It's free for you, but it helps me out and it lets me know that you're enjoying the videos and that you're getting a lot of value out of these videos. And it's a great way for you to learn how to create your favorite dishes from the most popular restaurants, your favorite restaurant, right in your own kitchen. I always like to ask my viewers in the comments section to write down a request for a restaurant or a recipe that you would like me to feature. And I still want you to do that because I love to get ideas and I love to hear some feedback on what my viewers are interested in. But I thought today I was going to take my own suggestion and I'm going to feature in this episode the Ruth's Chris Steakhouse Chop Salad. This is one of my all-time favorite salads. Like, I can't even describe to you how much I love this salad. I worked for this steakhouse chain for about 10 years in sales and marketing. And when I tell you that I probably had this salad every day for 10 years for lunch, it is no exaggeration, except for maybe on the days that I was off. But in the restaurant industry, you're not off that many days. So yeah, probably. I mean, do the math on that. What does it come out to be? I don't know. A lot. I'm so excited to show it to you today. And I know you're going to love it as well. So let's go ahead and get started with the Ruth's Chris Steakhouse Chop Salad. It's a little bit hard to say, but it's not hard to prepare. So let's go ahead and get started, everybody. Okay, first things first. I've got 4 slabs of thick sliced bacon. I like to do my bacon in the oven. It cuts down on the splatter, the grease, and the mess, and it also just kind of has a tendency to cook more evenly. So I've got 4 slabs of thick sliced bacon. I'm going to stick that in the oven at 400 degrees until crispy. Now next up, I'm going to do the crispy fried onions. This salad is a formed salad, otherwise known as a composed salad. It's like a molded salad. And on the top of this salad are these amazing crispy fried onions. So I'm going to show you from beginning to end how to do these onions. But we're first going to slice them very thin. Okay, now these are going to soak in buttermilk all the way to the top. If you don't happen to have buttermilk, regular milk is fine. And a little Crystal hot sauce. I love hot sauce. We live here in the South, and I have an entire door in my refrigerator dedicated to nothing but hot sauce. But Crystal is nice because it doesn't have that much heat. The reason for the milk or the buttermilk is that the milk allows the onions to soften up a little bit in their flavor. It takes some of the bite out of the onion. So I'm going to go ahead and set these aside and let them soak, and then we're going to come back and I'll show you how to crispy fry these. Okay, get yourself a big, huge mixing bowl because you're going to need it. When the salad is all finished, we're going to go ahead and toss it, and you're going to need a lot of space in the bowl. All right, I have 1 head of iceberg lettuce. It still has the core in it. Best way to do that is just smash it down and pull the core out. And we're going to julienne this lettuce. So cut it in half and thin strips of the iceberg. This will end up being about 4 cups of iceberg lettuce. Okay, next up is a half a cup of julienne radicchio. I happen to have an entire radicchio here. We're not going to use the whole thing. Make sure you take out the core. So you just run your knife along the core there and discard that. And this as well is julienne. So we want very thin strips of the radicchio. And next we want a half a cup of julienne baby spinach. Take off any of the stems that you see, and I'll show you the easiest way to julienne spinach. Okay, the best way that I have found to julienne spinach is to take each leaf and sort of stack them up on top of one another, and then you're going to form a little roll and then julienne them that way. See how easy that was? Don't forget to keep an eye on your bacon, y'all. You want it to be crispy, but don't burn it. Okay, we're going to do 1/4 cup of sliced red onion. This salad actually has 2 onion components. You've got the raw, thinly sliced red onion in the salad, and then, as I mentioned, the crispy fried yellow onion that goes on top, which I'll show you how to do once we're done here. Now we have a half of a can of hearts of palm. That comes out to be about 3 We have 2 hard-boiled eggs, diced, and now 3 ounces of diced white button mushrooms. Make sure that all the dirt is off of the mushrooms, but you don't want to rinse mushrooms underwater to get the dirt off, because mushrooms act like a sponge and they'll soak up all that water that you don't want. So just make sure you use like a mushroom brush or even just a paper towel and wipe off all of the dirt from the mushrooms. Next, this recipe calls for 1/4 cup of chopped green olives. My favorite happened to be the Mazzetta oh God, here we go, I'm gonna butcher this. Castelvetrano olives. Castelvetrano olives. There we go, I did it, yay y'all. Castelvetrano. Nailed it. Okay, now we're going to come back to my 4 slices of thick cut bacon, a 1/2 cup of crumbled blue cheese. This salad has a lot of stuff in it, y'all, which is what makes it so amazing. And 2/3 cup of croutons. Now I'm gonna go ahead and stick this in the refrigerator so that it stays chilled, and I'm going to show you how to make the dressing and those fried crispy onions that I'm bragging about. Okay, to make this lemon basil dressing, we're going to start with 1 cup of mayonnaise. For me, it's only Duke's. Duke's, and more Duke's. No self-respecting Southerner would ever use anything other than Duke's mayonnaise. So I've got 1 cup of that, and we're gonna add 1 cup of sour cream, a 1/4 cup of fresh julienne basil, salt, and fresh cracked black pepper. And now just gently whisk that all together. Okay, so coming back to these onions, we're gonna go ahead and make a dredge for these onions. We're gonna use equal parts cornmeal. I would say probably about a 1/2 cup of cornmeal, a 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour, kosher salt, and cracked black pepper. And now you just wanna make sure that this is all nice and mixed in. Okay, now you're gonna take the onions from the buttermilk and hot sauce, and you're going to drain off that excess milk, dump the drained onions into the dredge, and then just work the onions all through the dredge. Make sure that they're all evenly coated. Okay, so with your stainless steel pan on high, I'm using an All-Clad here. I happen to love that brand of pan. Put about 1 inch to 1.5 inches of a neutral oil. This is just canola oil. It depends on the size of the pan that you're using, but you want to make sure that the oil submerges the onions. Make sure that oil comes up to about 350 degrees. An easy way to determine if your oil is hot enough for frying is to just take one of your little onions here, dip it in. If it doesn't start sizzling right away, then it's not quite hot enough. You'll see the oil start to get translucent, and that'll be a sign that your oil is getting hot. Very, very carefully and very gently, knocking off any of the excess dredge, put your onions into the fry oil. Now, using a slotted spoon, make sure that your onions are submerged in the oil. So disperse them evenly throughout the pan so that all of the onions have an opportunity to fry evenly. And while your onions are frying, get yourself something to eventually drain the onions with. I just have a paper plate that's been lined with several sheets of paper towel, and we're gonna set that to the side so that when the onions are crispy enough, we're gonna take them out of the oil using a slotted spoon and put them on the drainage mat here. So you'll probably find that some of these onions are going to get a little bit crispier faster than the other ones. So the ones that are really getting nice and crispy, go ahead using a slotted spoon and take those out of the oil and set them on that draining paper. These will continue to crisp up a little bit even when you take them out of the oil, because that's just the nature of the cooking process. Things continue to cook even after you've taken them off the heat. So just keep that in mind. You don't want to have these be too overdone. But these are nice and perfectly browned and crispy. Okay, now the only thing left to do is to toss the salad with the dressing, and I'm going to show you how to form it. Remember I said earlier that this is a formed salad, but I've gotten them both out of the refrigerator, obviously. We're going to go ahead and add some of the dressing, and then we're going to make sure that all of the salad is well incorporated. All I'm going to do to form this salad is take some sort of a mold. I just happen to have here a crock dish, has a flat bottom. You're going to fill the dish all the way to the top, and then you're going to tamp down the salad. Of course, this is optional. I mean, you could just put it on a plate, but if you wanted to do the presentation like at the restaurant, you're gonna put a serving plate over it and carefully flip it upside down. And that should give you a nice salad mold. Again, as I said, this is totally optional. You could just put the salad on the plate, put some fried onions on it, but if you wanted to do like a nice mold, it's just a nice presentation, gives it a little something extra. There you have this beautiful mold, and then you're gonna take your crispy fried onions and gently place them on top. Take some halved cherry tomatoes and place them around the plate. And there you have the Ruth's Chris Steakhouse chop salad. Okay, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this episode and all of my episodes. Over here? Where is it? Anyways, check out the Steakhouse recipe playlist for other great recipe ideas. Before I let you all go, I want to remind you to subscribe, and I also want you to check out another great food channel called Food Trails. I enjoy it, and I think that you will too. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. I'm going to go ahead and have this for lunch, and I'm going to share it with my 18-year-old son who's now home e-learning his senior year in high school. He never watches any of my videos anyway, so who cares? Make it an awesome day, everybody, and cheers.